did you realize an adult in your life wasn't just strict, they were dangerous? My brother Ethan used to be the fastest swimmer in the state. Now he won't even look at water without throwing up. The injury happened during practice when Veronica, our assistant coach, forced him to try some cutting-edge dive she claimed would shave seconds off his time. Dad was in the bleachers, beaming with pride. He watched his golden boy arc through the air like always, until he didn't. 1 second he was a champion. The next, he was floating face down while the whole team screamed. Doctor said he was lucky to have any sensation below the chest. Lucky, that's what they called it. But when I watch Ethan stare at his useless legs every morning, I don't see luck. I see my brother who lost everything. And then Dad married her. 6 months after the accident, he stood at the altar with the woman who broke his son. Said we needed stability. Said she understood our pain. She moved in with her protein shakes and zero empathy, immediately boxing up all of Ethan's trophies because they were a barrier to recovery. She turned his weight room into a home office and started calling it progress. Ethan didn't fight. He just rolled back to his room and shut the door. I tried bringing him food the first week, but she blocked me. Said he needed tough love. Dad agreed like her words were scripture, even though Ethan was dropping weight by the day. Then she signed me up for the swim team without asking. Said I had potential. Said I'd waste my gift if I didn't train. Dad thought it was a great idea. Said it'd help me stay focused. No one cared that walking into that pool felt like stepping into the crime scene of my brother's life. Veronica became my personal coach, timing my laps, criticizing my form, comparing me to Ethan. Your brother wouldn't have quit, she'd yell whenever I gasped for air. I started wearing Ethan's old team jacket in secret just to feel close to him. Some nights I'd sneak into his room and find him scribbling in a notebook, which he'd slam shut the second I got near. She caught me bringing him food once, made me throw it out, said if he wanted to eat, he could come to the table, knowing full well he hadn't left his room in weeks, so I played along, set the table for 4, smiled through dinners where they talked vacation plans like we weren't disintegrating. Then I suggested something that finally made Veronica's mask crack, an adaptive swim meet for injured athletes. The team loved it, especially after 2 more kids quit following injuries from Veronica's training. But when I brought it up at dinner, her fork froze mid-air and Dad's face drained. She called it patronizing, said she'd already scheduled a training camp that weekend for serious swimmers. I told her Ethan deserved to swim again, even if it looked different now. Dad slammed his fist on the table so hard the glasses jumped. Said Ethan got hurt because he lacked discipline. Veronica chimed in, smiling that cold smile, and said Ethan had to accept reality. Then something crashed in Ethan's room. We heard his wheelchair scraping across the floor as he pulled deeper into whatever space he had left. The next day at practice, Veronica announced we'd be learning advanced dive techniques. I knew what was coming. She stepped up and demonstrated the exact maneuver that shattered Ethan's spine. Marcus, who'd been on deck that day, went white. When he tried to leave, she blocked him, said quitters would be reported to scouts. Then she pointed at me. Show them how a real athlete handles fear. I froze on that platform, every cell screaming. All I saw was Ethan's body hitting the water wrong. I climbed down, told her I quit. In the parking lot, Marcus caught up to me, pulled out his phone and showed me everything. Footage of Veronica forcing kids into dangerous drills, injury reports she never filed, emails hiding them from parents. 2 kids had permanent damage and the families were paid off quietly. Then he showed me her employee history, fired from 2 programs for safety violations. I rushed home to tell Dad everything, but Ethan's door was open and the notebook he'd hidden for months was gone. I found him in the garage trying to burn it. I grabbed the pages before they turned to ash and he broke down. Through tears, he told me the truth. The dive Veronica made him do, it was banned. Pulled from competition after causing multiple spinal injuries. He discovered that at a swim camp and confronted her that morning. Said he'd report her. She told him to do it 1 more time to prove he was wrong, then stood there and said nothing while he positioned himself wrong. Let it happen. He stayed quiet because Dad was finally smiling again, because he didn't want to ruin the one thing that still made Dad proud. Full story on channel link below.